Senator Lee.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Secretary Granholm, for being here today. Maria Robinson, who's been nominated by President Biden to lead the Department of Energy's Office of Electricity, recently stated that she doesn't believe that the residents of her home state, Massachusetts, pay too much for energy. Yet people of Massachusetts are paying energy costs at a rate 72% higher than the national average. What do you think about this? Do you think paying 72% more than the national average, which is already significant and people are feeling the pinch, is that too much to pay for electricity?
I think paying anything more than is absolutely necessary is too much. I don't know when she said that statement. I don't know if it's taken out of context, but we'd all like to see the price of energy reduced.
Right. Now, it is, of course, the statutory purpose of the Department of Energy to provide, quote, an adequate and reliable supply of energy at the lowest reasonable cost. So I believe it's clear that Ms. Robinson's views are not compatible with that mission. And if you review the statement and conclude that it wasn't taken out of context, that it was sufficiently in context, that you can't differentiate it, you can't set it aside as something that didn't apply here somehow, I assume you would advise that the nomination be withdrawn?
No. And when was it said?
It was, so these were very recent. These were in her questions for the record to the committee when she came through the nomination process, which we've received in the last few days, a few months. No, it's been a few months now. So these are recent, and it is concerning. Yeah, so when asked whether she believed that the cost of electricity in Massachusetts was too much, she provided a one-word answer, no. So this was not in a larger context. That's troubling to me. Any response to that?
You know, again, I have not seen what she was responding to. I don't know exactly when it was submitted, but I do think we should be lowering the cost of fuel all the way around.
Right. In today's New York Times, electric bills are latest to spike. So Americans are feeling the pinch when they buy everything from housing to health care, gasoline to groceries. And now electric bills are spiking. So to have somebody who's nominated to head the Office of Electricity within the department whose whole job is to provide, quote, an adequate and reliable supply of energy at the lowest reasonable cost, it seems a mistake to me. It seems tone deaf to the American people who are suffering. Now, energy reliability is also a concern. Since this administration has taken office, it hasn't done anything, as far as I can tell, to address our growing dependence on intermittent sources of energy like wind. For instance, the Biden administration has actually advocated for the extension of the production tax credit, the one that subsidizes these intermittent sources like wind. Now, are you aware that in some places the production tax credit actually provides federal subsidies to wind energy to the point that producers are actually paying people to consume the energy that these producers are making?
I'd like to see your information on that.
Okay, I'd be happy to provide it. I assume you're can't imagine that you're disputing the fact that it does occur.
What I know is that we have to provide American energy with a silver buckshot approach, not a silver bullet approach. We have to be investing in the production of clean energy. We have to be investing in the technology to get us to those energy sources, and including the decarbonization of the existing fossil fuel industry.
Okay, decarbonization of the existing fossil fuel industry is not your mission. Your mission is to provide an affordable, an adequate and reliable source of energy at the lowest reasonable cost. If you're not determined to advance that mission, in fact, if you're undertaking other efforts that do that, then we have a problem. You know, if the department doesn't want to pursue the statutory mandate for which it was created, perhaps the department should not exist. Would you dispute, Madam Secretary, at a minimum, this shows a market distortion, that it creates a market distortion? The minute you're federally subsidizing something to the point that you're actually paying people to consume electricity, does that not create market distortions?
We have federal subsidies for all kinds of energy, including fossil fuels. So the question is, do we want to see the United States build on these energy sources or do we have to rely upon technology or fuel from others? And we need, in the United States, to become American energy independent, and that includes the technology for clean energy as well.
Yes, but those sources, at least, are base load power. Base load power is something that's essential. It is the sine qua non of your ability to fulfill your statutory mandate to make sure that Americans have access to an adequate and reliable supply of energy at the lowest reasonable cost. And at a minimum, I would imagine that you would have to concede, that you would want to concede. I don't know why you would even try to dispute the fact that the minute we're subsidizing, the question of whether, to what extent, in what ways we should subsidize this or that source of energy, that is a different question than the one I'm asking. I'm asking whether, when we get to the point where we're subsidizing something, wind here, to the point that the producers of that energy are actually paying people to consume it, does that not reflect that something's dangerously wrong and that we're creating market distortions?
No, it does not. It says that we want to further this energy source. And if you add batteries to renewable, they essentially become a form of base load power. So that's why the technology that is being worked on at the Department of Energy and the investments that this Congress has made in the bipartisan infrastructure law on battery technology are so important to create clean, dispatchable base load power. And yes, we are competing globally for this, and so we want to make sure that we've got adequate supply, and that means early stage technologies often require some kind of subsidy. And even very well established technologies like oil and gas are benefiting from subsidy as well.
Does that technology exist today?
Yes.
To provide base load power. Base load power.
The technology exists in terms of battery storage, and we are continuing to improve it. But the question is, if we take it to scale, can we make it more affordable?
And in the meantime, we're creating a massive market distortion that's perpetuating high energy prices. This is why the American people are suffering. This is why the American people are being left out. They're being told they can go eat cake, and I find that unacceptable. Thank you.